Welcome back to Pamela Price Unfiltered. Since we're talking about the Oakland mayor's race and politics in Oakland, let's talk about how we got here. There was a federal indictment of our mayor and some local businessmen. So we're going to talk about three things. Let's look at how this story unfolds. Let's look at what are the charges, and let's look at what is the evidence so far. The story allegedly begins on October 7th, 2022, when Mario Juarez meets with then candidate Sheng Thao to discuss the purchase of housing units from a housing company owned by Mario and the Duong family. If you don't know who Mario Juarez is, Google him, okay? In return for the mayor using her influence to buy 100 housing units for $30 million, Mario allegedly offers one to send out a campaign mailer attacking then candidate Tao's opponents in the mayor's race, and two, to pay her partner Andre Jones $300,000. According to the federal indictment, Mayor Thao connects Mario with Andre Jones the next day, October the 8th, via text message. The indictment alleges that Mario and Andy Duong met with the mayor at a fundraiser, the candidate Thao, at a fundraiser on October 11th, 2022, where they finalized the deal. According to the DOJ, David Duong agreed to pay $75,000 for the campaign mailer attacking then candidate Tao's opponents after they met at the fundraiser on October the 11th. Mario made the arrangements to send out the campaign mailer. Mayor Thao allegedly texts Mario on October the 12th text Andre on October the 12th to tell him to get Mario what he needs and connect with him. On October 17th, according to the federal indictment, the Duongs paid Mario $75,000 by check. Mario designed the mailers and a website to go with it and sent out the mailers to Oakland voters on November 1st, 2022. There's an interesting tidbit in the complaint in paragraph 25, because what happened, the mayoral election was held on November 8th, 2022. Thao was declared the winner on or about November 21st, 2022. And on or about November 18th, however, 2022, according to paragraph 25 of the indictment, Mario and Andy Duong exchanged text messages regarding the election. When it became evident that Thao was going to win the mayoral race and that another individual was winning the race in the Alameda County District Attorney's race, Mario texts to Andy, so we may go to jail, but we are $100 million richer. Andy responded, money buys everything, and Mario replied, you're right. Plus, we have a 10-year extension to the recycling company. So they seem to be concerned about the fact that Terry Wiley, their candidate, had lost the DA's election. But I digress. After post-election, the indictment alleges that Mario made a series of payments to Andre Jones. December of 2022, $2,500, $5,000, $2,500. January of 2023, $5,000 and $5,000. Following these payments, the DOJ alleges a series of meetings in March and April of 2023 between then Mayor Thao, Mario, Andre Jones, and the Duongs, where they continued to plan how the city would buy these housing units and Andre would get paid. The indictment alleges that in April, Mario paid Andre Jones another $5,000, and then the housing company paid him $35,000. The indictment alleges that in order to make sure the housing company got the contract for the $30 million, Mario arranged through then Mayor Thao to have Larry Gallegos appointed as interim deputy director of housing and community development. Now, make a note, there's no allegation that Larry Gallegos had or evidence that he did anything wrong or that he even knew about the scheme. Then there was the summer trip to Vietnam that was sponsored by the Vietnamese Business Association, of which the Duongs are prominent members. And both Thao and Jones went on the trip and had some of their trip expenses paid by the association. On November 28th, 2023, the board of directors of the housing company, which is Mario, Andy, and David Duong, had a board meeting and they discussed their deal with Mayor Thao. The next day, the indictment alleges that Andre Jones met with David Duong and gave him a check for $35,000. Finally, the story ends in June of 2024 when the FBI interviews Andy Duong on June the 24th, and he allegedly denies any knowledge of any payments to Jones. So there are 8 counts in the indictment. Count 1, conspiracy to commit bribery. All 4 defendants are in there. Count 2, bribery and aiding and abetting bribery. That count is only alleged against then former Mayor Thao and Andre Jones. It alleges that they solicited and accepted bribes, $75,000 for the mailer and $95,000 in payments to Andre Jones. Count 3, bribery, aiding and abetting bribery. That's against David and Andy Duong. Count 4, conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud. All 4 defendants are named in that. And interesting, what is really significant about that count 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all based on the fraud perpetuated on the voters of Oakland. It is a scheme to defraud the people of Oakland, is what is actually alleged in count 4. It's a conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud. Count 5 is mail fraud and aiding and abetting. Count 6 is wire fraud and aiding and abetting. And that's based on the April 28th, 2023 payment of $35,000 to Andre Jones. Count 7 is wire fraud and aiding and abetting based on the November 29th, 2023 payment of $35,000 to Andre Jones. So all 4 defendants are named in those counts. Count 8, false statements to a federal agency. That's against Andy Duong based on his FBI interview in June of 2024. So what's the evidence so far? The FBI says they have text messages, phone records, checks and bank account records, the negative campaign mailer that Mario sent out, the website that Mario created, a recording of the November 2023 board meeting with Mario and the Duongs, the appointment of Larry Gallegos, and Mario Juarez singing like a bird to save his own skin. So there you have it. Will the case make it to court? Who knows? Will Donald Trump pardon David Duong and his son and all of their associates? David Duong received special permission to go see Donald Trump at the inauguration in D.C. after the indictment was unsealed. So we'll see. Maybe he'll get a pardon. Thank you for watching Pamela Price Unfiltered. Let's move on to Correct the Record.